Hello everyone and welcome to the woods. So, it's been a long journey. We were sailors and van dwellers, we were building tiny house, we were adventuring around in a lot of different ways. And we finally found a way that was sort of sticking, and that's homesteading. And that seems to be the general progression that a lot of van dwellers and schoolies and sailors that kind of realize that the nomadic life is a bit tiring and stressful, and so you end up coming to the woods to just take some time to yourself. So today I kind of want to show you just a day in the life of what happens here in the woods, you know, what it is that we're working on, what it is that we're trying to achieve, and just generally how it feels to kind of be in a commune in the forest. I find one of the best things to do in the morning when I wake up is to immediately just go straight outside and connect with the woods, just connect with nature, even if it's raining, even if it's cold or hot or there's bugs, just go out and connect with it and see, you know, what reality has to show you today. What is it that's been brewing? And I feel like from that you can kind of gauge what it is that you want to do for the rest of the day. So if it's raining outside, well, maybe you want to stay in. Maybe you want to work on the computer. But if it's kind of a cool breezy day and there's no bugs, well, maybe you want to work outside. So just kind of like gauge it by going on a walk. And then I just go on a run in the woods, bare feet and all. And there's about 1 kilometer of this beautiful moss trail, and so I just run it as fast as I can. And I feel like a little elven warrior. Yeah, so I'm on my commute to work. Yeah, it's kind of an ideal morning commute. I tend to occasionally stop at the nearest raspberry bush and grab a snack, because you've got to fuel up before a long day at work. There's also cherries too, but I find they are a little bit sour, so I'm gonna leave those for the birds. So after I go on my morning run into the woods, I go in my little, get my coffee. And no, it's not made with chicory root and dandelion root, although it could be once I get a workshop. I don't have a workshop yet, so I'm slowly building a workshop with using the most minimal material that you can, because we don't want to have to build something massive that's like stationary and then you can't move it, and then you need a permit and everything. And so we've called this the Pine Palace. So essentially it's some tarps in this beautiful kind of pine canopy, and this allows the rain to not get on you, so you can hide under here, but you can still kind of look up and see the silhouettes of the pines, which is really beautiful. And we're gonna put a bug net under here because there are a lot of bugs still. You can probably hear them. And then this is a little office. Okay, so I was just about to get super cozy with the coffee and make a plan and everything, but my dog has a tendency to leave and go to the lake because she loves digging. Like, digging in the mud is her absolute favorite thing. So now I have to go find her, because if I leave her there, she will destroy the entire shoreline. So while we're walking to the lake, there is a bunch of things happening right now down on, I don't want to say on the farm because this is not a farm. This is like a wilderness kind of retreat where we go and we connect with all of the different ecosystems here and learn about the seasons, learn about what's edible, and learn how to make a sustainable forest and also make a living off of it as well. So there's a lot that goes into taking care of a forest, being a tree herder in a way, I like to call it. It's really beautiful because you get to see how some years produce fruit. So this year we have cherries, and we have lots of cherry trees here, which is amazing. Every year pretty much we produce apples. Whether or not the apples are actually large and juicy remains to be seen. Raspberries produce every year. Blueberries usually produce every year, but it just depends. So for the past couple months, we've been working on building kind of this Airbnb glamping site by the lake because we want to make a living off of this beautiful land here, and we want to do it in a really kind of sustainable way, but where we allow others to come here and connect with the woods. So because I don't feel like it's fair getting to enjoy all of this land. Like eventually we want to have people come here and I don't know, like build things, build like really weird whimsical structures and tree houses. And we already have a lot of different shelters. We have like a teepee. We turned a trailer into a tiny house. So since we're already at the lake, we might as well go for a swim, maybe do some yoga on the dock, and then we'll continue the day. All right. And you can also see kind of Winnie's devastation that she makes down here. Like you can see these massive holes. Wait for it. Over here. There's some pretty sizable ones. So this is what she does down here. She just digs and digs and digs. So if you need some landscaping done, you know, she's pretty good at starting that, but yeah. So this year the water level is insanely high. So this fire pit is kind of like sort of submerged in the water, whereas like last year the water barely was reaching the dock. So this is our little DIY dock in paradise, made by my dad, Bob the Builder. And then we also have this lovely dock out in the lake. And that's all Crown land across the way. So we share the lake with the Crown. But it's extremely clean. It's fed by a bunch of different springs and there's no leeches. It's just beautiful. There's the little digger there. She's such a beast. But she loves swimming, so hopefully we'll go swimming with her at some point. Come on, Winnie. Do you want to come in the water? I have finished my stretching and meditation, and now I'm going to go into the water. And I said this is a day in the life, so I like to dip in the pond a skinny style. So Winnie is leading us to where the glamping site is going to be. This is where we're going to be building a beautiful deck, and all of this is cedar that we hand harvested and ripped the bark off and everything. And I used to think that like cutting down trees was a terrible, terrible thing, but turns out that it's actually very important for the forest's health to, you know, strategically cut down certain trees. It's kind of good that we've actually been here and making this site here, because it's really allowed us to open up a lot of the tree's potential. So here's the site here. Oops. Yeah, it still has a lot of our tools and stuff, but once we get it all cleared up, I will give you the entire tour. But we built this deck from hand, and this lovely table, etc. And then there's this beautiful view of the lake. Look at that. So there's the front of it. There's the lake. And of course, Winnie has gone to dig up and destroy the waterfront again. So again, we had to remove a lot of these alder trees here, but I'm planning on using them for jewelry making and all kinds of like furniture and stuff. So feel free to check out our Etsy shop below if you're interested. All right, Winnie, we're going back. Come on. Oh look, there's no one here. What do you know? sacred space all for me. Okay, so I'm not actually gonna film me working here. That would be kind of weird, but what I do, I have an Etsy shop, so I just like go there and I run sales and stuff, and I'm hoping to like turn this into kind of like a creative workshops where I can like actually craft and create a lot of the things that I make, because I do a lot of pyrography and carving and stuff, and so hopefully I can turn this into like a sacred workshop, because right now I make my products in my bed because there's nowhere else to do it. Which, like, I'm not complaining, but it would be nice to have like a space, so I just need to get all of my equipment out here. Yeah, so we have like other things we do, like we make videos, and we have, you know, our music channel, and we have like a kind of tarot reading channel, so there's just a bunch of things that we're trying to do, and I really want to get this channel started again, so that's the goal. And it's really great because this space has internet, so I can actually work from the woods, which is great. But I think that if you focus on one thing, you'll become a master of it, and then it'll shift and change, and you'll have to adapt again. So it's really important to kind of get into everything and explore everything, and yeah. So I'm leaving the office, and I'm going back to my house, which is about a 2-minute walk, I would say. Pretty great. Along the way, there's all kinds of medicinal plants, so if I feel like foraging, I can. Daisies, raspberries, goldenrod, mint, there's tons of stuff. So I'm going to take you to my little, it's like it was a trailer, and now it's kind of a tiny house, but it's still a work in progress. So there it is. And one day I will show you the inside, but I probably have to clean it today, but you kind of get the hang of it. Our teepee, which we were living in. You can look at our winter teepee video below. But yeah, there's our teepee there, which we mostly just use as wood storage right now. And down there is the communal home here. So this is where a lot of the magic happens. So it looks like it's, you know, a pretty modern styled house, but actually it was built in the mid-1800s. So I'll show you the wood inside is really beautiful. But yeah, there's just all these gorgeous gardens around it. And they're all wild, really. We don't do much landscaping, as you can probably tell. But you don't really need to. These gardens really speak for themselves. And there's just so many different kinds of wildflowers, and it's just beautiful. So this is where a lot of the work is done, inside this lovely screen shelter. This is one of the signs we've been working on, and that is of course the name of the land that we live. See, we don't really know how to do stuff, but we just figure it out and make it work. There's our little house. And just everything's everywhere right now because we're just in the middle of this project, so it's kind of a bit of a mess, but that's okay. You can get the vibe that it would be truly, truly magic. Finished it, actually. I finished this lovely little shelf. Kind of added the rope to create that kind of sturdiness, and now it's got kind of a nautical vibe. So that's my first piece of furniture, and I'm pretty happy about it. Pretty happy. The stain's a little bit orange, but that's fine. All right, now we're going to go to the gardens. My gardens are really pathetic, but that's okay. This year we weren't focusing on gardening as much, so a lot of my gardens have gone to weeds, but you can actually eat the weeds. So daisies are edible, jewelweed is edible, but I've got like sage growing here, and I've got kale, and it's all just kind of like mixed in. I do try to do like weeding on each different raised bed on different days. So this one you can see there's more kale in here, and I'm growing arugula, and we've got lettuce, which is kind of bolted now, lots of wild mint, and then this massive situation over here this is where all the tomatoes are. And you can see there are tomatoes coming along here. This is also where the cucumbers are. I swear I saw, oh yeah, there's that guy growing. So these guys need a lot of water, so I'm gonna water them actually. And we've got our beautiful well over there under the willow tree, which I'll show you. And that's where all of our water comes from. So give these guys a lot of water. And maybe I will pick this guy later. I'm not sure. And then we have this lovely little bathtub that we found in the woods. So you could technically bathe in it. More herbs and stuff. And then over here we built a little rock garden. It's just the cutest thing I've ever seen. This is truly a place of love and abundance and joy. And then over here is this beautiful little wishing well under here. I mean, you can't see it because it's really hard to lift up, but it's a beautiful old stone well. And then we have our beautiful willow tree. So all the water is kind of infused with the essence of willow. At least that's what I like to think. And so yeah, that's basically the morning. I think it's like 11 o'clock now. So jog, walk, meditate, make coffee, go find the dog at the lake, do yoga, bit of work, build furniture, do the watering, all before 12. So, lots has been done. Right, Winnie? Oh yeah, filming, because I don't normally film, and that's why I kind of feel like filming is a lot more to add onto the list of things that we're already doing, but I feel like I just really want to, so. Show you some of the flowers here. We have so many wildflowers. So beautiful. So many bees. And also, there's so many snakes here too. It's kind of crazy. But this is a magical land, and I hope that one day whoever's watching this can find their magical land. Oh my gosh, also we have apple trees. So this is like August 1st. So the apples are actually growing pretty well. Let's see, what do we got? What do we got? I wonder how high up I can. Apples! So they're obviously not ready yet, but they will be. So now the other mission. We're just trying to stack the wood for the winter. Make sure that it like gets sun on it and everything. Ooh, I love the stacking method that you've got going on here.
And unlike the walls, feel how sturdy it is.
Oh, true. It's, oh my God, this is great. Yeah. Just staining the table. So this is done. Now I'm just getting the burn tool ready. We've got our signs here. So it's sanding all these. Parkwood. And as you can probably tell, we have a bit of a Lord of the Rings theme going on. The Shire, Mirkwood. Oh, I didn't make a Lothlorien, but that's basically the Moss Trail.
Across the forest floor, I've been walking for days and nights now, just back and forth, just back and forth.
So it's been a pretty productive day. We've managed to get a bunch of these signs made. So hopefully we can get them up. And that'll be really cool. So we're gonna put this one up now. This is hard to do one-handed. I can do this myself. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, it's so cute. Okay, so for the Glamp Site, you're gonna go down this lovely little road and come across this. Now we're gonna get rid of those no hunting, beware of dog signs. Even though she is something to be feared. She's terrifying. But you can kind of get the idea. There we go, we have Will-o'-the-Wisp. And Will-o'-the-Wisp is all about following little beams of light in the forest and kind of getting lost and yet finding yourself. And then we also have our little frog being here. Yoga frog. It's kind of the vibe. And of course, there's still lots of work happening, which is why the chainsaw is going. So.
Shine